We'll run this for 40-45 minutes, alright? Just drive normally, just drive as you would do with me, okay? But consider everything, think about everything. Just picture yourself on the driving test itself. Think about what you're doing at all times, where you're looking, your position, your lane, your speed, your mirror checks, okay? Consider absolutely everything. So, if you're ready, I'll direct you left and right, obviously. If we get to a stage where I can safely do an independent driving bit, we'll do it. Okay, and it'll only last 10 minutes. If I think time's getting on and we're stuck in traffic or something, I might skip that section. Because I know recently we've done a bit of independent driving, alright, and you're okay with it. But I'll direct you normally left and right. If I don't direct you, just follow the road ahead. Okay? Right, so I'll ask you a couple of vehicle safety questions, or show me, tell me questions, just to get this started. Okay, so tell me how you would know if there was a problem with your anti-lock braking system, or ABS.
A light will show up on the dash.
Okay, yeah. And question number 2. How would you check your tyres to make sure they've got sufficient tread depth and their general condition is safe to use on the road?
Is it tread depth gauge or meter? Put in the deepest point of the tires, sorry.
Yeah. What should it be, the minimum tread depth? Take your guess if you don't know.
Centimeter.
Okay, alright. So let's drive on when you're ready, Panashe.
How many questions do they have to ask me?
2. Just 2. Okay, so drive on when it's safe to do so. Now at this point on your test, if you want to open windows, take your jacket off, do whatever you want to do, you know, before you head off. I said to you, just consider everything what you're doing, right? Because they're like hawks, yeah? And if you could take the next road on the left, please. she? Young girl like that doesn't look disabled to me.
drive, it's not much stuff for that.
Straight on at the traffic lights, please. best conditions are just light cloud, so you haven't got any sun in your face at any point. So like this.
Or is this just sunny?
It's just sunny, isn't it? So just light cloud, really. So it's bright, but not glaring. When we get to the junction ahead, Panashe, if you can turn left, please. Charming stuff. So from what you were saying earlier, then you're not going to go back to London for a while, then?
Even, of course.
No.
Not looking forward to driving there at all.
No. I've only driven there once, to be honest, and that was only to Richmond, which was this side of London, I think. You know, and that was bad enough.
Free Central must be a nightmare.
Yeah. There's a lot of charges there now, isn't there? Congestion charges and that sort of thing. It's mainly just taxis flying around, isn't it? In the centre. When we get to the traffic lights ahead, I'm going to ask you to turn right, please, at the crossroads. So the traffic lights are turning right. chances are the lights are going to go back while you're sat there in the middle. If they do, you've got to clear that junction. Right. Keeping you up? Late night, was it? Car in front, he's going to do exactly the same as we're going to do. He wants to turn right, but he's got nothing coming his way. Started this at 25 to 1, so you've had 25 minutes. if it wasn't obvious, they would. If it's like this where there's 3 lanes, they'd probably give you a helping hand, because you might not live around it. You know, you might not know that if you're in that right-on lane, that takes you into Castle Point. They can't afford to lose that time with you going wrong there. You know. So make sure you're in the correct lane to go straight on. Said to you here, you know, straight on at the roundabout, second exit, right? Now local knowledge tells me that straight on at the roundabout I need to be in this lane so that I'm in the correct lane after the roundabout. But you could be in that lane to go straight on as well, because there's 2 lanes go around it, right? But if you're in that lane, when you get around it, that lane's for left only and not straight on. See? So if you were in that lane and you got around the corner, around the roundabout, you might then realise, oh, I'm in the wrong lane to go straight on, and you'd have to move across again to this one. So you know, local knowledge helps, obviously.
So if you're in that lane, you'd have to turn left after the roundabout.
If you're in that lane, you'd have to move over to this lane again after the roundabout to go straight on. You see what I mean when we get around there, because the left-hand lane is just left only, further round. I guarantee some of these cars here are in the wrong lane and they want to get across. I guarantee it. When we get around there, it's just unusual, you know. It's you often see the bus as well. He'll want to get across into this lane. See what happens. Follow the road, stay in this lane. Follow the car in front. And we're going straight on, straight on. So, see, there's one look, he was in the wrong lane, and another one. And the bus as well, drop back a bit. Oh my god, bus driver.
Get marked down for that, would it?
You wouldn't know. That was a bit rushed. Straight on. Yeah, if we'd have done that to him, he'd have been first on that horn. Beeping. That's bad driving by the bus driver. See what I mean around that corner? There's a few people in the wrong lane, aren't there? Yeah. Sign on the back there, if you can't see me in my mirrors, I can't see you. Well, you knew we were there, but that way.
What's this yellow line here? Double yellow line.
No parking.
No parking.
No stopping, no parking. No loading, no unloading. drive on when you're ready, please, Panashe.
I'm meant to stop.
Great, and then drive on when you're ready, please. And if you could take the next road on the left, please. Secure the vehicle, Panashe, don't switch off for the moment. And if I can ask you to do a carry out a manoeuvre here, we're going to do a turn in the road. Right? safe. And just switch off the engine. Just cancel your signal. And just relax. Alright, so that's the end of your mock test number 1. Just give me a minute or two and I'll just put this together, alright, and then we'll have a talk about it. Just relax. Right, okay. So how do you think you did?
So.
So?
Just turn this off.
I'll give you a bit of advice, right? If ever, when you're driving and you stop like this to use your phone, take the key out of the ignition and just put the key somewhere else, and then that's a sure way. If the authorities are watching you, like using your phone, and they come up alongside you, there's no key in the ignition, so you're definitely not driving, or the engine's not running or anything, alright? Just like a big safety thing. So anyway, back to this. So, I'd be pleased to tell you, Panashe, you would have passed. And I gave you 12 faults. 12? I was harsh with you, which is what an examiner would be, alright? So let's just go through this in reverse order, if you like.
Yeah.
First things first, you turn in the road that you've just done. That was great, well done. That would have been a pass, definitely. Great control, really good observations while you were doing it. Not a problem at all, your accuracy was good, you didn't bump the curb at any point. There was 2 pedestrians coming along and you spotted them and you kind of paused until they'd gone past behind us and then carried on, which is great. So your manoeuvre, spot on, well done. For me, your biggest problems are your mirror checks.
Yeah.
You picked up, let's have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4 faults just for this mirror. Just for this mirror. I'll give you some examples. We turned onto Castle Lane off of a big roundabout and you didn't check your mirrors at all. We were in Winton High Street going through all that traffic and you didn't check this mirror.
Yeah.
Right, each time we stopped you've got to be checking this mirror. Now they can only mark you down once for one thing, but with mirrors they can mark you more than once. Okay, now we're in Charminster again and you didn't check the mirror again, so you would have got another mark for that. Cemetery Junction, which was that big junction, we were in the left hand lane. I said to you, oh, we're going to turn left at the traffic lights, and you didn't check your mirrors before at the end of the bus lane when you moved across. You just didn't check your mirror to move across. Alright, so you would have picked up quite a few there. Your signals, you picked up 4 for your indicators.
Leave them on.
Well, the first one was at Red Hill one-way system. Right at the start of the test I said to you, right, we're at the one-way system, get onto the inside lane when it's safe. You moved across to the inside lane really nicely, but then you put your right indicator on for some reason. We then went down to the traffic lights and I said to you, stay on the outside lane and just follow it around the edge, and we did, and you still had your indicator on. So potentially the car behind might think you're changing lanes because you've got your right indicator on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it wasn't required there at all, your signal. right at the very start of the test, coming out the end of the test centre road, you put your indicator on to turn left, but then it went off, and we got to the junction, and you just turned left. You didn't put your indicator back on. So that's that very first one when you smiled and I just marked you on the test sheet, yeah. So just have a think about that. One signal was really late. Your timing was really late on one signal turning left. We'd almost got around the corner and you'd put the left signal, you know. So your majority there, look, are mirrors and signals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You picked up 8 minor faults there, just for your mirrors and signals. The other bits, let's just talk about these. Your handbrake, we're on Winton High Street at Winton Banks Crossroads for about 2 minutes. We were waiting for the traffic lights to change, and in all that time you got your foot on the foot brake, but you didn't have your handbrake on.
Right.
So what you should have done, take your foot off the foot brake, put your handbrake on, secure the car. Alright, so you would have got one there. On Winton High Street again, you rolled back at one point. Luckily the car behind wasn't too near, so it would have been a serious fault here, so I just gave you a minor fault for that. Roll back. And you got another one for the clutch at one roundabout. I think it was the Broadway roundabout, about 15 minutes ago. You really slammed off the clutch into second gear, and I said to you, cool, that made me jump. The car really sort of jolted, so you definitely would have got one there as well. Let's talk about the good stuff then. So every time I pulled you over, that was really nice. You checked your mirrors, you indicated where it was necessary to be pulled over. When you moved off again, checked all around, indicated where necessary. 2 mirrors in your blind spot, that was really good. You're not hesitant at all on any of these junctions, which is really good to see. Your dual carriageways was good. Great joining speed on the dual carriageway coming down that entrance ramp. Really safely done, that was really good. Give you a big tick for that one. Right at the start, you got one of the questions right at the start, but the one about the tyres, it wasn't a centimetre, it's 1.6 millimetres. That's the minimum tread depth that you need. Alright, so you would have got one minor fault there as well. Just one other thing to mention really, and that was, yeah, obviously the bus who nearly cut us up on Castle Lane, that wasn't great by the bus driver, but it's just worth, you know, realising that some of these buses can do that. But I thought you handled that well, that was fine. Bus, too close for a decision. Now this was on Winton High Street, right at the start of Winton High Street. We just turned onto it, and the bus in front of us had stopped.
Yeah.
And he had his left indicator on, and you were so close up to it that you had no choice really but to wait behind it. The car behind at that point, luckily, was quite happy to wait. He was quite patient. So we sat there, and then eventually the bus pulled off again and off we went. So you had 2 choices there really, either wait for the bus to pull off or move around him if it's safe to do so. Alright. Now it might have been safe to do so, but you were so close behind it, I certainly couldn't see from where I was sitting. I don't know whether you could even or not. And if we had have gone, it would have been such a tight, awkward turn, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So just consider that, alright, next time. Just consider your distance from it. Okay. In that situation, it's a bit of a grey area where they would have marked you down. They might have marked you down on clearance or following distance, being too close to it. In actual fact, you were following it, but it had stopped way before we got there, so it wasn't going to be following distance. Probably clearance to obstructions. Probably would have marked you down on that one. But generally, mate, well done you, you know, and 12 minor faults, but no serious faults. I'd much rather you come back on an actual test with 12 and pass as a pass, and come back with 12 and 1 serious fault somewhere, or a dangerous fault, yeah. How do you feel about that? Yeah, take that? Yeah. I'll take 12 faults any day of the week, he says. Yeah, so well done. It was a fairly decent drive, you know, and I took you on a fairly difficult test route, to be honest. So a lot of town driving there, through Winton, through Charminster, lots of roundabouts. Took you on a dual carriageway, took you off the dual carriageway, down Castle Lane, to this area where we are now, where we did one manoeuvre and pulled you over a couple of times as well. Alright, so well done you. Well done, mate. Let's give that a pause.